Hi, this is Mr. Fleming, and this video is for my Art 1 studio class. In class this week, we've been working on 1-point perspective. At this point, everyone should be working on their final draft for their presentation of their 1-point perspective drawing. That is not just an exercise demonstrating that you know how to do 1-point perspective, that you've made an illustration of some sort that is more than just the measurements, but some visual presentation of your idea. The cityscape is the easiest one to do, but it doesn't really need to be complicated. This is an example of 1-point perspective, and you can see here with the cross, all of my corners are at 90 degrees, and I have just 1 point on my horizon line. Keep in mind I'm still using gradation of tone from our last project, and you should be using the techniques we learned in previous projects. Now that you've done 1-point perspective, we're going to start to do 2-point perspective. Looking at this object, it is the same cross construction. It is a little lower on the picture plane. I can see more of the top of it. But also notice there are no parallel lines. You have two sides that go to two different points on the horizon line, which makes all lines perpendicular or diagonal. Now, the way you do 2-point perspective is very similar to the way you do 1-point perspective. You create a horizon line, and I'd mentioned, other than horizon line, I prefer to call it the eye level. It's just much more descriptive, and I think it's easier to remember. I have to put two vanishing points on my horizon line. And I am looking for my ruler. Many students are coming to class without rulers, and even in your sketchbook, I'm watching you rough out perspective drawing. You need to use a ruler, and you need to bring a ruler to class. So what I'm going to do here, just back just a little bit, is make a perpendicular line. And I'm using black marker because you can see it. So from what you're doing in 2-point perspective is approaching an object on the corner. So I'm going to bring this back to over here. So I'm going to turn this into a cube. Again, I'm going to use a perpendicular line. And there's a perpendicular line. And now you've got to put a pitch on, to finish this cube out first. So there's my cube in 2-point perspective. Let me just bring that down just a little bit so you can see it. So right there is my cube. And we don't have any 90-degree angles in this drawing, even though it is a cube in space. Because of perspective, everything is being distorted. And there is my cube in space. Now what I'm going to do is put a pitch on my roof for my house. The way I do it is I go corner to corner. That's my center, and that will be my pitch. I'm going to bring that top of that pitch, the top of that triangle, back to the vanishing point over here. I'm going to bring this line back over here. And that becomes my roof to my house. Now it really works just the same as perspective drawing. You're using your ruler to maintain your lines, using 2 vanishing points instead of 1, but really the skills are the same. As far as drawings, once you finish your 1-point perspective drawing, I would like to see some 2-point perspective exercises done in your sketchbook, and then we'll work on a final draft for our 2-point perspective. So as far as perspective drawing goes, we should have a finished product due next Monday, which will come in with your 1-point perspective and practice drawings of 2-point perspective. And now we'll review 2-point perspective next week, and then we'll work on a final draft. This is something that can be a little tricky, but practice will allow this to happen. And I'd like to see at least 3 hours worth of drawing in your sketchbooks as your home remote learning. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the classroom. And I'm going to shut off here. Really, goodbye this time.